If you're struggling with hard work, productivity, your mindset, or just overall self-improvement, click the top link in the description and I'll help you out one-on-one. Now, hard work is something that we all struggle with at times, but what if I told you that there's actually ways to make your life easier and to do the hard work? And that's by simply tricking your brain into actually liking and enjoying doing the hard work. So in this video, I'm going to be telling you guys how to exactly do that, because this is exactly what helped me when it came to doing hard work. In this video, I'll be going over the methods that help me overcome procrastination, resistance, and just lack of work ethic. Starting off with the first method that helped me is habit stacking. Now, what that is when you pair a hard task with an enjoyable one. For example, you could be listening to music whilst doing something tedious or hard, or you could reward yourself with like a chocolate or something after a long exhausting workout. Why habit stacking works and has been proven to work not only for many other people but for me personally myself is because your brain starts to associate something difficult with something pleasurable, which then overall reduces resistance, which then leads to you being more likely to actually completing that hard task. A really good example could be you completing a very challenging workout, but alongside that you're listening to your favorite playlist on Spotify with all your favorite songs on the playlist. So you're listening to music you enjoy whilst doing something that's very challenging. Personally, this is a bit, off topic, but personally I don't enjoy listening to music during my workout. I find it distracting, but I know for many other people like yourself, it may be something that helps you. The second method that helped me trick my brain into doing difficult tasks was focusing on small wins. In my videos, I do speak about this a lot, and during my journey of self-improvement and along the years, I have talked about focusing on small wins. A lot of people focus on this big end goal and all these things. It's very important you focus on the small wins, because those small wins add up over time and then they add up to that big win eventually. So every single milestone you get, whether that's in fitness, in business, every single milestone should be celebrated. Not this big celebration, but appreciation. In life, we're so focused on the next goal, the next this, the next that. We don't enjoy the moment and appreciate where we are now, because the version of ourselves 2-3 months ago, even last year, would be happy to see where we are today. So it's very important that we focus on the small wins. But the actual concept of focusing on small wins is breaking tasks into tiny pieces. So breaking big tasks into manageable pieces. When you actually start breaking things down, it lowers the mental barrier of actually getting things done. The thing that you fail to realize is the brain actually loves and enjoys completing tasks. It enjoys completing tasks because it gives it a sense of dopamine. When you complete a task, you check off that task from your to-do list. You get this sense of dopamine in your brain. Your brain actually loves to do the hard work, completing tasks, overcoming hurdles, overcoming challenges, and getting things done in your day. Your brain actually loves and thrives off that. Each small win boosts dopamine, which then helps you stay motivated. That's why I'm such a big advocate for writing down a to-do list during the day. When you write a to-do list and you know exactly what you're doing during your day, once you complete that specific task and you check it off that to-do list, your brain gives you that sense of dopamine and fulfillment to actually help you keep going throughout the day. Just by you ticking off that first thing, you're gonna want to, it's human nature in us to want to continue checking off that thing, because we love getting that satisfaction of just ticking and crossing things that we've just completed out. The fourth method that I use to trick my brain into doing hard work, this is actually my favorite and I still do it to this day, is gamify your task. What that means is you're basically challenging yourself and competing with yourself. You're making it a game, you're making it fun. We all love to play games. So by you looking at your work as a game, for example, how long can I complete this task? How long can I complete this workout? How long can I do this? Let's beat this high score. Let's beat this PR in the gym. Let's do this. Let's do that. By competing with yourself and challenging yourself, you're removing that serious aspect of things and putting it into a different perspective of you actually enjoying something and doing something that you enjoy and you find fun. So what I like to do is I like to time myself how quickly I do a specific task. So in the morning time, or no, in the afternoon time, I might have a task that isn't like very hard, but it's up there. But it's a thing of how quickly can I get this done, and the quicker I get this done, the more I can move on to more important tasks. So every time I do that, I'm reducing the time. So for example, it can take me an hour to do that task. So the next day I'll try to do it in 45 minutes. I'm just breaking it down. And by doing that, it gets me more focused into that zone because I have a time to be. I'm competing with myself. I don't have time to procrastinate or scroll on my phone or do this or make food or make a drink. No, I have to do this work in 45 minutes. So it's that sense of competition, challenge, but also focus. So it's all things in once. You're having fun with it, you're completing the work and actually getting the work done, and you're being effective whilst you're doing those things. The fifth method that I use to trick my brain into doing hard work is visualization and identity. You want to visualize yourself as that person who thrives and enjoys doing hard work. This was a big thing for me that it helped me a lot, but my favorite one was the last point, which was gamify your task. But this method right here is very powerful. Visualizing and becoming that person. The reason why that's so important is because when you look at yourself as that person who enjoys doing something, you're going to become that person, because whatever you think becomes true. If you constantly see yourself as that person, I love doing this, I love doing that, you're thinking about it, you're obsessing over it, you're seeing yourself doing it, you're seeing yourself with a smile on your face whilst you do that hard, challenging task, it then becomes not so hard and challenging because you enjoy it. The lie that you made up in your mind, thinking and pretending to yourself that you enjoy doing that thing, actually becomes your reality. That's why what we think is so powerful, because pretending and living in this facade, pretending that you like doing something that's so hard, it eventually becomes true. The thing is, us as humans don't even acknowledge this shift in mindset, because when it happens and we notice ourselves enjoying that specific task, we don't even think of it as anything. We just maybe think, oh, this is quite enjoyable, but we don't think of what we've been doing months and weeks prior of us practically visualizing and manifesting us enjoying that task. Also focusing on the long-term rewards and the benefits that you'll get if you just stick to doing that specific task. Think about the long-term effect. If you just stay consistent, carry on doing this, having that fun element to it, visualizing, think about where you could actually be if you just stick with it and carry on doing that specific thing. When you start to shift your identity towards seeing hard work as someone who you are, your brain is more likely to align with that belief. The sixth method that I used to trick my brain was modifying my environment. The environment plays a huge part in everything you do, like regardless, but in terms of the work aspect, it plays a huge role. You want to be sitting at your desk ready to work in a nice, clean, tidy environment that you can just go to your desk and start the work straight away. When you have mess and clutter and all these things around you, it messes up your brain, and it gives you that lazy look on things. It gives you that exhaustion. You're already exhausted before you even started doing the work because you're exhausted by what you see. That mess on your desk, that mess around your room or your office space, that mess where you work is already exhausting you before you even done anything. So that already sets you in a wrong tone because you haven't done the work yet, but you already feel tired and exhausted and you don't want to work. Having an untidy and messy environment is set up for failure already. You're setting yourself up for failure because with all that mess, believe it or not, you can't actually concentrate as much as you think you can. A lot of people like to delude themselves and think, oh yeah, it's just a bit of mess. I can concentrate, but you really can't. It does something to you psychologically that you need to actually change, and you only start to notice this when you actually declutter and sort your environment out. And not even just mess, but modify your environment, meaning maybe if you work in an office or you work in your room or wherever you work, how about change things up? How about move your desk to a different part of the room? How about instead of having your desk here, you can move it over here? Change up the scenery. Maybe put some, inspiring quotes on the wall. Do something. Modify your environment. This is something that helped me a lot. Modifying your environment means exactly what I just said, whether that's the mess or the organization of the office space or your room, wherever you're working, you want to modify it, change it, make starting work effortless. You want to keep everything you need in arm's reach. You don't want to be sitting at your desk but realizing you forgot your mouse or you forgot this, you forgot your key. You don't want to be doing all of that. You want to be having everything, your pens, your notebooks, everything there, organized in a nice, lovely folder or a nice pile. Not pile, that sounds messy, but organized. You know what I mean? Have everything in arm's reach, that it doesn't become, you know, a hassle to get to. Everything's easy access so your work can flow more. The reason why this works and it's helped me a lot is because your brain is highly influenced by your environment. If your surroundings support productivity, it's way easier to dive into that hard work. Last but not least, my 7th method that I used to trick my brain into doing hard work is the 5-minute rule. I did speak about the 5-minute rule in my video called How to Stop Procrastinating, but I will mention it again. So the actual concept of the 5-minute rule is basically just committing yourself to hard, deep work for 5 minutes, because often starting is the hardest part, and by you committing yourself to 5 minutes of just hard, deep work, you're more likely to push further than that, because after those 5 minutes you'll get into a flow and you'll get into a zone, and you're gonna want to actually continue doing that work because you've got into something deep. It's a very, very useful and impactful method that I still use today, sometimes when I'm not really that enthusiastic about starting, or I don't know how to start, or you know what to do. I just put the time on 5 minutes, and just it puts on that pressure for me of I have to figure it out. I've got 5 minutes, and then by the time I figured it out, I know exactly what I need to do. The time has passed and I just carry on doing the work. It's a nice startup. The reason why this method worked so well for me is because the brain sees the task as less overwhelming, and that's because the commitment is so minimal. The commitment is just 5 minutes, so your brain sees it as something easy, even though the work is hard. 5 minutes, when you put that into perspective, it's just 5 minutes. So your brain sees it as not this big challenging thing, and you're most likely to start and get some work done. Before I wrap up the video, I do want to reiterate that these tricks are not about avoiding hard work, but more about working with your brain into making the process less daunting. I encourage everyone watching this to try one of these methods that I spoke about in this video and see how their relationship changes with hard work. And also let me know how that relationship changes via Instagram DMs, and my Instagram will be in the description. If you're struggling with hard work, productivity, your mindset, or just overall self-improvement, click the top link in the description and I'll help you out one-on-one.